to Pour Painting with Ron. In today's video we're going to be doing a multi-flip cut pour on this huge canvas, 35 centimeters by 71 centimeters. Now the paints I'm going to be using today are all Mont Marte colours. I'm going to be using Mont Marte titanium white, they're turquoise, magenta, the phthalo blue, and some purple. So hopefully they'll look really nice together. Now, the pouring medium I'm using today is going to be my glue and water mix because I'm after some nice looking cells, and the glue and water tend to give nicer looking cells than Floetrol does. So the glue I'm using is the Elmer's Glue All, not the school glue, the Elmer's Glue All, and I'm mixing that 60% glue to 40% water in my bottle, and I just swish it around and then pour it out. So the easiest way to mix it, if you're not very good at maths, is just 600 milliliters of glue and 400 milliliters of water in a drink bottle, and that should do you for a couple of paintings. Then the cell activator today, rather than silicone oil, I'm using this coconut milk anti-breakage hair serum. Now it's not the coconut that's important in this, as I've said it before, it's the main ingredient dimethicone that you're looking for. You can buy straight dimethicone off Amazon, but most chemist shops and supermarkets carry this coconut milk hair serum. But do check the ingredients list on the back that it has dimethicone. Now for this size canvas, I need quite a lot of paint. I need almost a litre of paint for this sized canvas. So I spread that out evenly amongst my 5 colours, and I've mixed them 1-to-1 paint with my pouring medium. Although because some colours are a bit thicker or thinner than others, I've had to add a bit extra pouring medium or a little bit of extra paint here and there just to get the consistency the same across all of the colours. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so here are all of my paints mixed up. Now I've mixed up about 240 grams of each colour to give me the amount that I need for my painting today. So that's about 120 grams of paint and about 120 grams of pouring medium, give or take a little bit. Now the amounts don't matter too much, it's the consistency. So it doesn't matter if you need to add a little bit more paint or a little bit more pouring medium just to get the right consistency, the same across all of your colours. So if I show you the consistency, it's a bit like hot honey. If I do a little twirl with the paint, it should stay on the surface for about 3 seconds or so and then disappear. Okay, so that's my paint. I mixed it up yesterday just to give a bit of time for the air bubbles to escape, because the glue and water mix can be a bit problematic when it comes to air bubbles. Not so much problem when you use Floetrol. Now my cell activator is my coconut hair serum. I've just put it in a squeeze bottle, just makes it easier getting it out into the paint. Now if I have 1 drop every 30 grams of paint or so, I need about 8 drops of hair serum in each colour. Now you can put it in the white if you want to, but I'm not going to today. I'm just going to put it in these colours. So let's see, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They come out really quick. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah. Oh, that was about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I need to mix it in reasonably well, but I won't overdo it. Otherwise the droplets of hair serum just get too tiny in the paint. But I do want it through all my paint so I don't have lots of patches where I don't get any cells at all. Bit of a mix. I want to be careful I don't get too much air into my paint again. Okay, that should do. Yeah, most of your time with paintings you spend mixing. The actual painting doesn't take that long. Sometimes I just spend a few hours mixing paint and then I have enough for lots of paintings all in a row. Now the size canvas that I've got today, it's a bit of an in-between size. Sometimes I've used 4 cups to do my flip cup, and sometimes I've used 5 cups to do my flip cup. Both work, but in the end I prefer the 4 cups because it just gives me a bit more space to stretch everything out on the canvas. And it's really up to you really, whatever sort of final look you want, or whatever works best for you. Now if you have a little canvas, you may just do 1 cup or 2 cups. It's easy to scale up or down according to the size of your canvas. And that purple. Now I had a bit of a think about the order of the colours. I didn't want the dark colours all next to each other. So I'm going to do dark, light, and then white, and then repeat that sequence. Almost there. Okay, we'll see how that works. And my white, magenta, blue, turquoise, purple. All right, now my cups, I'm using 4 cups today. These are recycled. I don't think I'll fill them completely up. Okay, a bit of purple in each one. I'll end up doing 2 or 3 layers, I think. The coconut smells nice. And then I'll do some magenta. Now I'll just drizzle it over the top because I do want layers in my cups today. Turquoise. Sometimes the turquoise takes over for some reason. I hope it doesn't today. I hope we're going to get some pretty looking cells. That's the goal anyway. Now if your mix is really thin, your colours are going to blend and you may end up with huge cells. Again, if it's too thick, you won't get big cells, you just get little tiny ones. Some blue. So I really like the Mont Marte colours. They're easy to mix, they're cheap, and you get very lovely looking cells with them. There's the paint in my cups. They don't all have to be identical if you don't want to. I just spread out my last bit of paint amongst the 4 cups there. Okay, let's put them to the side and retrieve my canvas. Now my canvas was a little bit loose before, so I sprayed the back with a bit of water and dried it with a blow dryer, and then we get the nice drumming sound which shows that it's stretched enough. And as usual, I've taped the back of my canvas and also stuck in some push pins to make it easier to move around and to dry later. All right, hopefully you can see that. Now I'm going to put 2 cups on this side and I'll put 2 on the other side, and I'll use my handy wall scraper to turn them upside down. So let's see this one. I'll put here, and I think this one was the same. I'll put that about there. I'll turn my canvas around. Easier than walking to the other side of the table. See how easy this is? I don't get paint everywhere. Right, I'll just wipe it off a bit. Okay. I'll just move that closer to the edge there. That one a bit closer there. That one a bit closer. Oh, too close. All right, I'll pull these 2 first, and then I'll turn it around and pull these 2. Now the trick is, as you lift it, you drag it backwards to create a line of paint rather than a big blob at one end. That wasn't very good, but anyway, it'll work, I hope. Now I'll just pour paint over the corners, because they're the hardest bits to cover when you're stretching out your canvas later. See if I can do this one better. That's better. Now you don't want to do it so fast that you have lots of paint left. Might just do a bit of the edge here. That'll get tipped off. Oh, very blue and purple. Okay, turn it around. That's a very blue one. See what colour this is. That's another very blue one. Righto. We'll see how this is going to work. Now I'm just going to move the canvas a bit first down the paint a bit down the canvas first. It's going to be hard filling in these spots. It's a bit tricky filling in those white bits, so I'll just go to this corner. I'll bring it back, so I don't want to lose too much paint. I'll bring the paint back to the middle, and then I'm going to torch. Now don't put your gun too close, because you'll get masses of cells. And don't keep it in one spot too long. Now we're getting some cells happening. Righto. Okay. Now I don't like this bit, but I'm going to have to tip that off as I go. Now I don't want to move my paint too fast. I'll just keep it nice and slow. Well, the paint's here, I may move that off. I don't mind if I don't get straight lines, I quite like the curves. Just bring it back. I'll go to the other side. As you move the paint, it stretches the cells out. That's what makes them bigger. Tip it over the side. Okay. Bring it back to the middle. Let's see if I can work it down the canvas a bit. Get it over that side. And this corner. Bring the paint back this way. It's a bit of a fiddle. Bring it down to that corner. These ones are stretched too much, so I'll get rid of those. Don't want to overstretch things. Not too bad. Most of my magenta disappeared. Let's see how that's looking. I would have liked a few more cells happening there. I'll give it a little bit more of a torch, see what happens. Few more cells popping up. Okay, how is that looking? Interesting. Looks a bit like a galaxy or outer space, doesn't it? I just might move it backwards and forwards a little bit, just to see if those new cells will grow a bit. I don't want to mess with it too much because I'll end up ruining the cells I already have. Okay, how is that looking? Lots of movement in that one. Okay, we'll continue to develop over the next little while. So I might let it sit now with the risk of ruining it if I move it around any more. But I'll go around with my spatula wherever I've put it. Put it somewhere, here we go. Just to get rid of the drips that have gone over the side. Touch up any white bits, which I've got. And just pick up the paint off your puppy pad and dab it on. It'll drip down and you won't notice that you've done it really. Would have maybe mixed up a bit more paint. Would have given me a bit more to play with. Just make sure everything's covered here. Do it a bit more down this corner. A bit more there. I think we're all covered now. I'll just do the scraping of the edges. You may have to do that a couple of times until it stops dripping. I don't know where all my magenta went. Oh well, that's the luck of the draw, I suppose. Just come around that side, and then I think we're done. And then I'll take you in for a closer look. Almost done. Okay. Right, that's done. I'll take you in for a bit of a closer look. Right, here we are. A bit hard to get it all in the frame, but that's a finished painting. We've got some interesting cell action happening here. Some very, very pretty looking cells. These ones are a bit stretched out. That's what can happen if you stretch your paint too far. I don't always mind those stretchy looking ones, but some people do. I've got some cells within cells happening. So the little ones popped up with the second torch that I did. They're pretty. I like those ones. Well, that was fun. I think it turned out pretty well, even though it was a little bit darker than I thought it was going to be, and I could have perhaps used a few more cells at the top end of the painting, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Overall, I think the effect is really, really nice. As I said before, it's an easy technique to scale up or down. If you have a smaller canvas, just use smaller cups and fewer cups, and more cups and bigger cups if you have a larger canvas. One of these days, I'll do one using Floetrol and silicone oil, just so you can see how different it looks compared to the dimethicone and the glue and water mix. It's quite a bit busier, let me tell you that. Well, as usual, if you like what you saw today, please press the like button, and if you'd like to see more of my videos, please take a moment to subscribe. Thanks. So, happy painting, and we'll see you next time.